This is the Fontainebleau, a 3.7 billion, 67-story mega resort built to destroy Vegas icons like the Wynn and Bellagio. But less than 2 years after opening in December 2023, people are calling it the new ghost hotel of Vegas. And it might be burning through hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses every single day. How does a hotel that was supposed to be the new king of luxury in Vegas have an empty casino floor on a Saturday night? If you read the guest reviews, a completely different story emerges. People describe the Fontainebleau as cold, themeless, and looking like a dead mall. So many guests say, the resort is beautiful, but it has no soul, no Vegas energy. And almost everyone mentions the prices. Not just that it's expensive, but that the cost feels like a total ripoff for the experience you get. In this video, we're going to use those exact experiences to expose the truth, comparing the $3.7 billion promise to the reality and breaking down the 5 fatal mistakes behind the Fontainebleau, from its cursed location and luxury mall design to the financial pressure and a secret federal investigation, to see if this is an icon in the making or the craziest investment disaster in Las Vegas history. Mistake number 5. They built it in the middle of nowhere. The Fontainebleau's first deadly mistake has nothing to do with its design or service. It's where they put it on the map. Its official address is 2777 South Las Vegas Boulevard, placing it on the absolute northern edge of the Strip. It's practically stranded, flanked by the Sahara just 0.3 miles south, Resorts World half a mile away, and the historic empty lot of the former Riviera. The real exciting heart of Vegas, where Bellagio and Caesar's Palace are, is a full 2.2 miles away. That's 3.5 kilometers, or a 43-minute walk. One veteran bartender who's worked the Strip for 20 years put it this way: you're not on the Strip, you're on an island. People don't just walk here. This location creates a death spiral. First, it gets almost 0 foot traffic. The North Strip lacks the seamless pedestrian sky bridges of the Central Corridor, forcing people to cross the wide, busy Vegas Boulevard multiple times. It's no surprise that local reports show pedestrian traffic here is 20–30% lower than in the city's core. Nobody just accidentally wanders into the Fontainebleau, which forces it to be a destination you have to commit to. But this isolation isn't just annoying, it's a financial wall. A couple visiting from Canada shared their experience. We thought we were getting a deal, but we felt trapped. A 4-minute taxi to the Cosmopolitan was supposed to be $15, but it surged to $35 just to see a different part of the city. We spent more on cabs than we did on lunch. While a bus or monorail ticket is cheaper at $6, it's a 20 to 40-minute ordeal that's completely impractical for luxury travelers. This traps guests, but it doesn't solve the bigger financial problem. While overall Strip occupancy was at 88.3% in June 2025, Fontainebleau's was estimated to be as low as 78–82% in the first half of the year, suffering from its distance to major convention centers and entertainment. The numbers prove it. In 2024, North Strip gaming revenue lagged far behind the center Strip. Being isolated doesn't just cost you money. It creates an even bigger problem: a totally dead atmosphere. And that is mistake number 4. Mistake number 4, the atmosphere is dead. A Vegas casino lives on energy, but at Fontainebleau, the atmosphere is dead. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of a typical guest, a couple from out of town, excited for a big Vegas weekend. They walk into the casino, a colossal 173,000 square foot gaming floor, with soaring 42-foot high ceilings, 300 slot machines, and 128 table games. This modern, cavernous design was meant to feel grand, but with low occupancy, it just magnifies the chilling emptiness. One such guest shared their experience on Reddit, summing up the feeling of hundreds of others. We walked down to the Wynn and it was poppin'. Got back to the Fontainebleau around 9 p.m. and the place felt super dead. The table games mostly contained bored dealers. This dead atmosphere is a direct consequence of mistake number 5, the location. With virtually no walk-in foot traffic, the casino depends on its own hotel guests, and there simply aren't enough of them. While overall Las Vegas visitor volume saw an 11.3% year-over-year decline in June 2025, with citywide hotel occupancy falling to 78.7%, Fontainebleau's numbers were reportedly even worse. This created the now infamous airport terminal at 3 a.m. vibe, but the pain of this emptiness is felt most by the staff. Take the story of one dealer, a composite of many who were let go. He was thrilled to join the team, believing he was part of the next big thing in Vegas. But the reality was soul-crushing. Speaking anonymously, he said, "Some nights we'd stand there for an hour without a single player. It was eerie." Then, in late May 2025, the hammer fell. He and around 60 other table game dealers were laid off. For the staff, this was a devastating blow. But for industry watchers, it was a major reset, a quiet admission that their business plan had failed, forcing them to reduce open tables and lower minimum bets to $25, just to attract any players at all. This creates a vicious cycle. The lack of outside customers and a dead casino floor means the resort has to squeeze every dollar from the guests it does have. So, how does a resort with no customers make back its $3.7 billion investment? By squeezing every last penny out of the few guests they do get. And that is mistake number 3. Mistake number 3, the prices are a scam. Your first impression at Fontainebleau isn't luxury. It's, sticker shock. For Mark and Jennifer, a couple from Chicago celebrating their anniversary, the nightmares started at check-in. They'd booked a room for what seemed like a reasonable $450 a night, Wynn prices, but they wanted to try the new thing. But the real cost was hidden. A jaw-dropping $55 per night resort fee, one of the highest on the Strip, plus a surprise $150 per night hold on their credit card. Before they even got their room key, their weekend budget was suddenly $600 lighter. As Mark later wrote online, it felt less like a welcome and more like a shakedown. They call it the Fontainebleau tax, for a reason. And that feeling of being squeezed follows you everywhere. Take David, a father from Texas who just wanted to get his kids a quick lunch at the food court. His voice, echoing hundreds of online reviews, is one of pure disbelief. "I just paid $69 for my 2 kids to eat chicken tenders and fries at a food court. It feels less like luxury and more like a hostage situation." Another guest complained about a $55 charge for a single double vodka and Red Bull. Want to relax by the pool? A server, who asked to remain anonymous, shared how uncomfortable she feels telling guests the policy. Even if a cabana looks free, it comes with a mandatory food and beverage spend of $400. "You see their faces drop," she said. "They come here to feel special and end up feeling scammed." This predatory pricing isn't a mistake. It's a symptom of financial desperation. With an occupancy rate struggling, the resort is trying to make up for thousands of empty rooms by bleeding the few guests they have dry. While their average daily room rate, ADR, is high, their revenue per available room, or RevPAR, has reportedly fallen by as much as 14%, because you can't make money on rooms that are empty. It's a failing strategy that reinforces the cycle of losing a reported $400,000 a day. But paying a ridiculous price for a burger is one thing. Paying a premium for luxury that doesn't even work is something else. Welcome to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2, The luxury is fake. When you walk into a room, you see Fontainebleau's biggest strength. They look beautiful, modern, and have tablets that control everything. But this shiny coating peels off. A tech blogger staying in May 2025 summed it up. The room looks great on Instagram, but it's all style, no substance. The desk was as wobbly as cheap IKEA, unacceptable for a $500 room. Another guest on TripAdvisor complained that the furniture was so flimsy, a drawer handle broke right off. The tech, a major selling point, is full of bugs. A constant complaint across booking sites is that the automatic curtains don't fully close, letting in the morning light. As one guest wrote, "I had to use a paperclip from my briefcase to hold the curtains shut. For a resort that calls itself high-end, it's insane." And unbelievably, many standard Blow King rooms don't have bathtubs, just a shower. Forcing guests to upgrade for over $100 for a soaking tub is not luxury. The service is just as inconsistent. Reviews from 2025 are flooded with complaints of room keys that fail, clogged toilets, and slow housekeeping. A recurring theme is front desk staff, who are rude or clueless, particularly when failing to explain the mandatory $150 per night incidental hold. This all points to internal chaos. In an unprecedented sign of instability, both the chief financial officer and chief operating officer left the company within the first year. This executive exodus, combined with the layoff of 60 dealers, signals a deep operational crisis. Ultimately, Fontainebleau is charging Wynn prices, $400 to $600 a night, while delivering an experience that barely averages 4.2 out of 5 stars compared to Wynn's consistent 4.6. With 25-35% of its negative reviews blasting this broken luxury, the resort completely shatters its 5-star promise. Mistake number 1, financial and legal. Meltdown. This is where all the mistakes explode in a financial and legal meltdown. The pressure is insane. Reports suggest the resort was losing up to $400,000 every single day. One former manager, speaking anonymously, described the internal mood as pure panic. He said, "Every morning, we'd see the numbers, and it was a bloodbath. The order from the top was to get revenue by any means necessary. It stopped being about creating a luxury experience and started being about plugging a hole in a sinking ship." That desperation led to a questionable $112.5 million land purchase, while the hotel was bleeding cash, and it set the stage for a much bigger crisis. In May 2025, the Nevada Gaming Control Board launched a bombshell investigation into the resort for serious anti-money laundering violations. But this wasn't just a paperwork error. It was a symptom of the internal chaos. A casino supervisor who was there at the time tells a chilling story. "A high roller came in, but our compliance team flagged his file. Too many risks. We denied him casino credit." An hour later, a call comes from way upstairs. The message was simple: make it happen. We all knew it was a massive gamble with our gaming license, but people were terrified of getting fired. It felt like they were willing to risk the entire casino for one big score. And that pressure trickled all the way down to you, the guest. The desperation fueled the predatory pricing. Consider the experience of a couple from Florida, as documented in a formal Better Business Bureau complaint. The husband briefly lifted a snack from the minibar to look at the ingredients, put it right back, and was later hit with a $17 charge. As he wrote in his complaint, it's not about the money. It's about the feeling of being watched and tricked. We felt less like guests and more like targets. This is the ultimate vicious cycle. A bad location led to low occupancy, which created financial desperation. That desperation led to scam-level pricing and risky legal decisions, which destroyed trust and finally attracted regulators. It's a failed business model, confirmed by the mass layoff of dealers and the exodus of top executives, including the CFO and COO. So is the Fontainebleau an icon in the making, or a $3.7 billion investment trap? After breaking down these 5 fatal mistakes, the answer is painfully obvious. This is a resort of deep contradictions. It's a design masterpiece that's completely soulless. It has high-tech rooms that are full of bugs, and world-class restaurants with prices that make you feel insulted. So who is Fontainebleau for? Maybe for a seasoned Vegas traveler who finds a really good promotional price, wants a quiet, self-contained resort, and doesn't mind overpaying for everything. Who should avoid it? First-time visitors to Las Vegas should definitely stay somewhere else. The location will be a massive roadblock. Anyone looking for that vibrant Vegas energy will be incredibly disappointed. And anyone expecting the perfect, consistent service of the Wynn will not find it here. The Fontainebleau has the hardware of a 5-star resort, but it's missing the software, the service, the atmosphere, and the trust to run it. The potential is there, but until they can create a soul to match its beautiful body, most travelers should wisely spend their money somewhere else. What do you think about the Fontainebleau? Have you stayed here? Do you think they can turn this thing around? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for more deep dives like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.